Larry goes with
Beaker
Woods
Munster.
and Munster. And Dave from Dave from Crown Point.
Yeah, this is Dave from Crown Point, not Dave from
What's
Highland.
up, Dave? Dave from Crown Point goes with
Best golf?
best place to make out in the region, Dave.
Oh, best place to make out.
Best golf.
Oh boy, you caught me off guard on that one.
That's
And my daughter's
That's
standing
dope.
behind me, so I'm going to refrain from
All
that.
right. Well, there's nothing wrong with you. You're
married.
Yeah,
Where do you take the wife to go to make out?
Or where did you go make out when you were a kid?
With 3 kids?
Look at this. Yeah.
With 3 kids, there's no more making out.
Exactly. Hey, the topic of DUIs and what seems to be an increasingly growing problem.
Right.
I think former Hammond fire chief had the solution to that. Dave Ham. You sit at the bar and you get schnockered all night, and then you just call 911, and you have an ambulance come pick you, or a fire truck come pick you up. I think that's the best solution.
See, I got a better one than that, Dave. You're going to love this one. You know what you do? Like you said, you sit at the bar, you have as many as you want, then you call a tow truck company, have them tow your car with you to your house. That way, when you wake up in the morning, your car is right there.
I think that's a better solution yet. You know, the judicial system needs to start cracking down more. I don't know if you remember the case, the story a few years back, the attorney Gary Weiss out of Maryville. He was tragically killed in a car accident out in Lake of Four Seasons. He was hit by a drunk driver.
I don't remember that.
Probably about 3-4 years ago. My memory serves me correct. And come to find out that the guy that hit him had at least 3 prior DUI charges.
Well, like we were saying, the guy who just hit the older gentleman in Munster and killed him.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
Right, allegedly. Had like 90...
Well, he didn't allegedly kill him.
No, right.
He did kill him.
Right, exactly. Had like 90 violations.
Yeah.
And he was a young man. I mean, my grandmother's 91.
24.
Yeah.
24 years old. How do you rack that up?
Yeah, you got to just go out every day and do something.
Let's figure 8 years of driving.
Well, and it all comes, I hate to point a finger, but it all stems back to the judicial system, I would say, because why is this guy continually making it through the system?
I agree.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, well, this whole thing started out, we were talking about the best when we were kids to go make out, and that's was the question of the day. And we were just saying how years ago the cops, if they busted you when you were 18, 19 drinking, they just dumped your beer out and sent you home.
Yeah.
And now those days it seems to be completely over. If you get caught, that's
well,
it. But then again, when you got this guy
back in the day, I guess the best place to make out growing up in Hessville would have been Dowling Park.
Dowling Park.
Yeah, that was probably the spot back in the day when we were kids.
So when you took a girl to Dowling Park, she knew what was going on.
She knew what was going on at that point. And I'll leave it at that.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Quit the grinning and drop the linen. That's what my friends always say. We're going to go to line 3 with D of H. What's up, Dave?
Hey.
What's going on?
I second the motion for growing up in Hessville. Dowling Park was the place.
Yeah?
You could go on the inner drive where it was dark, or you could go on the Mahoney Drive on the outer drive and watch the semi-races.
The semi-races? Is that what they...
Yeah,
you go on
80-94, yeah.
You could go on Mahoney and pull out your baloney.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. Hey, it's funny you were talking about licenses and drunk driving.
Right.
That's an awesome idea, I have to say, about having a tow truck tow you and your car home.
Don't be stealing my idea.
They're going to clip you for $100 for the tow, right? That's a heck of a lot cheaper than a DUI, right?
And you don't have to call your wife and say, "Can you come get me?" or out of jail, even worse, or even come get me at the bar for $100. I'm going to start a company. It's going to be called Tow a Drunk, right? And that's all they'll do. And even we'll have a little breakfast sandwich in the cab and some coffee. And we'll even make a book of excuses that you could get home when you get to your spouse of what happened. I think, Dave, I'm going to make a lot of money.
I think you're onto something. And you could just say, get hammered, get towed.
Oh, I like that. Get hammered, get towed.
Right. Get nailed, get towed.
I think I'm going to. If you hear that I quit my JOB job, you know that I started my new company, Tow a Drunk.
No, but you need to start your new company and stay a JOB, because in today's society, you need multiple revenue streams. That's how I live my life.
Yeah, you're right.
Multiple revenue streams.
You're right about that. Hey, Dave, now that I got you on, you're a big hunter. I'm going to read this story if you can wait a few.
Sure.
Because we talked about it last week about Ted Nugent, the flag waving Ted Nugent. This I saw on I think it was it's on the AP out of Anchorage, Alaska. Rocker and wildlife hunter Ted Nugent has agreed to plead guilty to transporting a black bear he illegally killed in southeast Alaska. Nugent made the admission in signing a plea agreement with federal prosecutors that was filed Friday in U.S. District Court. Call seeking comment from Nugent, his Anchorage attorney, and the U.S. attorney were not immediately returned. The plea agreement says Nugent illegally shot and killed the bear in May 2009, days after wounding a bear in a bow hunt, which counted toward a state seasonal limit of 1 bear. And then it also says the document says Nugent knowingly possessed and transported the bear in a misdemeanor violation. Nugent, identified in the agreement as Theodore A. Nugent, not really a rockin' name, is it, Theodore?
Right.
Agreed to pay a $10,000 fine, according to the agreement, which says he also agreed with a 2-year probation, including a special condition that he not hunt or fish in Alaska or Forest Service properties for 1 year. I guess he did it on Forest Service land. Boy, you know, I was telling Larry, I don't mind if you're a certain type of person and you say, hey, this is who I am, that's fine. But when you tell me that you're a law-abiding, flag-waving, you know,
gun-toting moron.
yeah, you know,
there's no doubt he's a hypocrite. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
that kills me the most.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get any federal charges because he took an animal over state line, and then, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to drive through Canada when you leave Alaska.
If he drove.
Okay, so he technically took it out of the country, and he drove back to Detroit or wherever he calls itself home now.
It also, I'm looking in the report here too. It also says it's a federal. Oh, it says it's a violation of the Federal Lacey Act is what he actually was charged with. Yeah, you don't want to be charged with the Lacey Act.
That's where the $10,000 fine came in. I bet. Now, if that would have happened to me, conservation, Mike, Larry, anybody, if I would have a deer in the back of my truck that wasn't tagged and I didn't have a license, this is what can occur in Lake County, Indiana. They could confiscate everything. They could take my truck, my guns. I mean, they could take everything, and I have to buy it back at the county auction. Conservation officers have far more levity, far more jurisdiction. They don't need a search warrant. A DNR officer can kick in my front door, check my freezer, check the mount. They could check everything. You don't want to mess with a conservation
well, like
officer.
I said, you know, here's the thing with me that bugs me the most about this is, you know, he always claims that, you know, he's a law-abiding, you know, good American citizen, and then all this stuff is coming out about him now.
He calls himself a patriot, but yet he dodged the draft in '71. Nice, huh?
Right.
He's quite the patriot. He loves shooting his conservative mouth off against the president. And, you know, after the 15th time you hear the same line out of his mouth, he just, to me, he's all out, no pun intended, but he's all out of bullets, man, because I don't listen to half the stuff he says. I enjoyed him when he was younger. I listened to his music. I mean, I went to the Aragon Ballroom to watch a concert of his. But now he's going way, way, way too right for me.